what's going on, everybody? This is the third video in the foot series, and what I wanted to talk about are a couple things that I've noticed with myself in my training, with my athletes, and just in research that the foot thrives on. And the first point that I want to make is on proprioception, something that we talked about in an earlier video. So let's recap that. Proprioception is, think of it like our sixth sense. It's like our body's physical awareness in space. You can't really quantify it. It's just, a lot of people think of it like balancing on one leg, with their eyes closed, being able to maintain that. But really, it's just allowing a ton of sensory input. In this case, we're talking about the foot. So I really like to use proprioceptive drills that we've talked about, like overloading them. Like your foot can't get enough of it. And I think that's very important to build athletic feet. We need to just like bathe our foot in proprioceptive sensation. And I think that can be really, really helpful, especially when you're talking about dealing with sleepy feet. Okay. The second one is we have to understand that our foot isn't this muscular based piece of our anatomy. I mean, it's like, I guess you can think about it like if you ever like watch like an animal run, like a horse or something, or even a dog, or even like looking at ourselves in our hands, there's not a lot of muscle in the extremities of our body. If you think not muscular based, there's a lot of like bone structure in there. There's a lot of like fascial linkage, and we'll talk about that in a second, but there's a bunch of nuance that happens. It's not stiff. It's not, all about contrasting eccentrically and concentrically with our muscles. There's much more to that picture. So one of the things that I wanted to hit on there is just understanding that we can't just muscle our feet. Yeah, sure, our feet responds well to some strength work like isometrics, but we can't just continue to muscle approach the training of our feet. And I think one of the ways we can do that is just using like high repetition hopping and plyometrics and continuing to phase that in. We do this all the time. I do this all the time in my program, progressively overloading that. I think that's killer. That's key, especially to develop that lower leg complex. And then, another point that I want to make is that when we're sprinting or jumping, we have to understand that when we're doing these things, we're talking multiples of body weight in terms of force that we're doing, that we're performing on one leg, right? You think about like the triple jumpers or the sprinters. I mean, there's plenty of research that says we're exerting like 10 times plus of our body weight in force. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 2,000 pounds of force that you're putting into the ground. Can you lift or quarter leg squat 2,000 pounds? Doubtful. All right, no one can. Just think about that. So like, if our muscles can't do that, then what helps? Do we have like a dampening strategy? How are we able to withstand that? Well, that's just this fascial link, mechanism. That's just this interconnected web that we have that runs throughout our body that just kind of connects our tissues, and it's not muscle based. Okay, this helps us dampen the load. When we perform those tasks. So this interconnected web is often ignored, and we don't really train it. It's tough to train, it's tough to quantify it, but these are just some of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention in this foot series. And yeah, so just think about that as you approach training for yourself, with your athletes or whatever. Don't just muscle it. Think beyond the muscle-based approach. There's much more in your body than this muscle-driven strategy we oftentimes use with a barbell. All right, guys, take care.